So today we've had a bit of breaking news coming from Cosmic Book News in an article where they say that Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and the Saudis are set to bring back the Snyderverse in what they call an exclusive story. And I just wanted to dig deep into this article, give you the highlights of it, but also give you my own personal analysis as to what I think is going on. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, I've been covering this story for a long time now, and just the other day I posted an update about Zack Snyder and his DCEU, and James Gunn and his DCU amidst a potential Warner Brothers sale. But with these new developments, it's important to put things into context and see how this new information could perhaps influence what we already know. So basically in the article, Cosmic Book News are saying that they have insiders that have reached out to them, letting them know that apparently the Saudi Arabians are very close to purchasing Warner Brothers. And not only that, they have already had talks with both Zack Snyder and even Christopher Nolan to bring back the DCEU, including cast members like Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, and maybe even Gal Gadot, who has been liking Snyder's posts recently. And what's interesting is that in this article, it's also explained that if Zack Snyder were to return, it's no longer just to do a Dark Knight Returns movie, but rather they would be going full-on Snyderverse with a sequel to Justice League and other movies. Now, in addition to this article, I also want to give a shout out to Luke of Lukorama72, which is a DCU fan group. He's reached out to me recently and also told me that he believes that if the Saudis did take over, they would want to restore the Snyderverse. And this article, along with Luke, both have told me the same thing, that that's actually the reason why Zack Snyder has been so confidently posting all of these images on his Instagram to gain some hype for the DCEU, because he knows something that other people aren't publicly aware of. And yes, Zack Snyder, as I also mentioned in a previous video here, he does have an existing relationship with the Saudis. They're working on a UFC movie together, so he certainly has the relationships. Do I think it's possible that the Saudis are interested in buying Warner Brothers? Sure. Do I think it's possible that he's in touch with the Saudis? Sure. Do I think it's possible that he reached out to his cast members and he's already in talks with them? Sure. But even in this article, it's not saying that it's a done deal, it's saying that it's very close to being a done deal. And when it comes to these kind of situations with mergers and acquisitions, you never really know until the last minute how it'll play out. Now, this article, a lot of it relies on a guy on Instagram called Patrick the Producer, and he apparently posted a video himself explaining what he thinks is going on. I want to play this video just so we can get a feel of what he's saying, but after that I'm going to share my thoughts about what he's saying as well.
Saudi Arabia is on the verge of purchasing Warner Brothers. I posted this about 24 hours ago. What's interesting is to see the internet doing its internet thing, and so many people have taken this information and have run with it. Outlets are now presenting this as their own, but the source is right here. Kind of humorous because I've actually been reporting on this since October 16th. That's when I first heard that there may be a $70 billion deal from Saudi Arabia to purchase Warner Brothers. Now, I do have sources in Saudi Arabia who are now telling me that the deal is about one signature away from being complete. And these sources are pretty solid media sources, and they're sources that I am trusting. Now, of course, this could all blow up in my face and I could be eating the biggest meal of dead crow of my life if it's wrong. But I am trusting my gut right now. I'm trusting my sources, so I am going all in on this is what's happening. The one information I don't have is whether Comcast is also involved with this deal, whether Comcast would be picking up some of the additional elements of Warner Brothers like HBO Max. That's still the mystery right now. But from what I understand, Paramount has made multiple bids at about $60 billion, and the Saudi fund is estimated to be $1 trillion. And as a person who was in Saudi Arabia just 3 weeks ago, you've seen the evidence now showing that this country is going all in on media. They bought EA Sports. It's on LIV Golf. Now, of course, what's really interesting is so far, none of the traditional Hollywood news outlets have reported on any of this. They've been circling the Paramount story with the Ellison family trying to purchase Warner Brothers. They've been reporting on Netflix trying to get their name in the game. But from what I understand, the deal is almost done. And David Zaslav did mention that by December, they will announce who is going to be the owner. So right now, everything is tracking on point on the timeline, and we will see who the owner is that's going to emerge. So you know who the source was and where the information was coming from. Producer Patrick on the scene.
So first of all, I want to make it clear, I'm not dismissing what this guy says. I think his analysis is interesting, and if he's heard some rumors, it's worth something. But what I will say is there are additional moving parts here beyond if somebody makes an offer or not. First of all, even if the Saudis come up with a really interesting deal and Zaslav wants it, it still has to be approved by regulators and the government and things like that. It's not something that you just purchase like a car. It's a lot more complicated. Now, do the Saudis have a good relationship with the Trump administration? They do. Is it possible that the sale would go through? It's possible, but the Ellisons also have a good relationship with Trump, and we know they're interested. The other thing that producer Patrick mentions here is that he's not 100% sure what's happening with Comcast, but I actually wouldn't rule out a situation where Comcast would potentially team up with the Saudis, and perhaps they'd buy Warner Brothers together. And the reason for this is that Comcast is an American company, and that way, if there is certain bureaucracy you need to push through, having a local company team up with a foreign entity would be more easy to push through than just a foreign entity buying a very American company like Warner Brothers. And there have been reports that the CEO of Comcast has been seen in Saudi Arabia recently. Interestingly, also the Ellisons have been seen there. So we don't know. Maybe they would team up with the Saudis too. And I understand that saying that everything is just one signature away sounds very dramatic, but I think that it's a bit more complicated than that. And yes, I've heard that Zaslav is going to be making an announcement until December of what he plans to do. And certainly there's a chance that this could be real. But like they say in sports sometimes, it ain't over till it's over. And as for James Gunn, whoever buys Warner Brothers, we don't know that they'll walk in and fire James Gunn on day one. He has a contract that ends towards the end of 2026. He has projects that he keeps pushing and filming and doing stuff with almost frantically and desperately because he knows that he's in the hot seat. But a new owner could still come in, let him finish his projects, and then just decide not to renew his contract. As an entertainment reporter, I try to be responsible and objective, and while Zack Snyder is in the best position that he's been in years, I still would stop short of saying that this has already been accomplished. I do think that what he's doing is pretty clever, because posting a few images on Instagram doesn't cost him any money. He just does that, gets some hype, gets even some press surrounding it, and it proves once again that he is a rather seasoned politician that's already been through mergers and acquisitions, and he knows how to get the most out of it. So I'm not underestimating him either. In any case, I just wanted to give you this quick update, and if you want to keep getting posted about latest developments from a more independent entertainment news reporter like myself, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it would really mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, and good day.
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos. Brum.